Neural handshake established. Synaptic collaboration process complete. Vic code augmented. Consciousness now online.
Right. So, I've got some things set up because I am going to start a quick new project before I have to leave the place where I'm currently living, and I'm going to do that uh, live streaming. So, I've got a bunch of materials that I put together. Uh, the cardboard that I'm working from, if you've ever gotten a shipment from Paizo, you know what these are. And I've got some recycled trail mix bars, cardboard boxes that I'm going to be used to put together. I'm going to make some gargantuan sized and colossal sized bases and miniatures from printed illustrations that I got from both Paizo products and illustrations online. And they're going to fit on the huge sized, so 3-inch wide Pathfinder ones. So I'm going to get those working. I've got a PDF file that I'm going to put together and put a link up for in case anyone wants to create these exact same pawns, and also the list of things that you'll need and the critters that I'm doing. As you can see, I've printed off some creatures, and when you put together a document, and I'm not going to go into the details of that process, but when you put together a document, you just always want to have a mirror image of both of the same illustration, and not on the backside of one another, because you're actually going to use both illustrations, each one on each side of the miniature. And so I've got a whole bunch of creatures that I put together from various resources. Also, you'll notice that I am actually, yeah, there we go. You'll notice that I've got the song that I'm playing in the background on here, so that way I never have to answer anybody about which song is playing. It's right there. So, I'll be able to watch what's going on here in the chat, and you will be able to watch what's going on here in front of me. So, I'm going to get right to it. So, the things you're going to need are some scissors and an X-Acto knife or some other kind of handheld razor. You're going to need a ruler. I like this clear one because it helps me see what I'm working on below it. I'm not sure that its measurements are exact, but it works for the grids. You're going to need some glue. I found that Elmer's glue works perfectly fine, but I got some Elmer's glue all, like a multi-purpose type of glue. You're going to need a pen or a pencil to be able to draw, to put down the markings on your cardboard, to measure everything out, and to do the outlines, which I'm going to be doing tonight. And then when you're working on the cardboard, no matter, even if it has some kind of color or surface material on it that's binding it on one side or another, you're still going to want to prime that with something. Last time I used actual gesso, like you would use on a canvas. I also used an indoor-outdoor white primer paint that I got from a hardware store. And so this time I'm just going to use flat acrylic paint because I think it's going to do just about the same thing that I was doing before. and I've made sure to get all matte paints and matte finishes instead of glossy. It's not like matte, my buddy matte. So for the design that I made to create the bases for gargantuan and colossal sized creatures, if you're playing Pathfinder, in order to make the bases, I had to make sure that the outer edge of them, where it gets really thin, it wasn't easily able to be torn just by normal everyday wear and tear on the minis. And so I realized that if I put a piece of pretty durable plastic in between the two layers of cardboard and then sealed it all in with the acrylic and the glue and everything, that it worked really, really well. It was a great binder. And so I have some flat, they have to be flat, and if they have like little bumps in them, I'll probably cut those particular parts out. And they have to be flat pieces of plastic. I have a coffee mix by Hill Brothers that I really like, and the plastic is really solid and durable. And even though it's kind of glossy and slick on one side, by the time you get done with all the layers of acrylic paint, it's pretty soft. So I'd love to put together some goals for if I get some follows and subscribes. That would be awesome. But for the time being, I'm just going to do what I do. And I'm hoping that the signal strength is going to be good enough. Hopefully it doesn't cut out. If it does, the video on demand that I'll post over on YouTube will be the full uninterrupted video. So the other things you're going to need is some kind of surface to work on, and also a surface to cut on. I'm using just some old cardboard on top of this table and some like shelf inserts as a flat surface. The printed artwork is only for the miniatures themselves. For the bases, I'm going to paint the landscape or the terrain type that I want to put on there. But for the miniatures themselves, I'll be using printed artworks. Most of these are from Paizo products of the actual creatures, mostly from bestiary entries, and then some of them, like the Kraken and the dire crocodile or Sarcosuchus, are from other sources that I just grabbed online because I like the illustrations of those better than the Pathfinder bestiary illustrations. Some of them are very specific to Paizo, such as this one here, which I'll let somebody try to figure out what it is before I say what it is, because I know what it is and where it's from, and I'm going to make some minis out of all of these things. So actually these ones over here are a second batch that we did on accident, but I'm going to keep them around just in case I'm going to do this whole project again. Like I said, I'd like to get some follows and some subscribers because I'll do this whole project all over again. And I'll mail it out to people and we can have a lot of fun with it. That said, most of the reason that I'm doing this one last big hoorah pot project like I did last time is because I'd like to raise some funds. So I'm going to put a link for my GoFundMe campaign so that I can move the rest of my stuff out here and possibly get into my own place and be able to take care of things and not be living it out of my bags, which is, we're bordering on right now, but we're not there. We're not totally there yet. So I got myself a new X-Acto knife, which has this really nice cap that goes on it. It's like you have to specifically press the button to get it to unlock. It's quite lovely. Oh, and I won't actually be using this right now, but I just wanted to point out that I got some new supplies today. Don't worry, I didn't splurge on money. It was a gift card. So, yeah, because all of my money that isn't being used on stuff like this and Paizo products is going to be used on moving preferably on moving my stuff. So it's going to take $1,900 approximately to move all my stuff from Michigan to out here to Tacoma, where I'm at, Washington, the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to throw things around over here because I'm going to talk, but I'm kind of done showing off things for a moment. I'm just going to get into the part where I start laying out where things are going to go. So, like I said before, I've got other versions of those illustrations that I did before. These are the ones that I've already cut out. So, like I said, I didn't want to put a lot of time and energy into telling you how to choose colors or backgrounds or edit or cut out your illustrations because it's not really necessary. But what you do want to do is make sure that there's at least one flat edge where you can say, okay, this was the edge of the paper, and so that way you've got some kind of determiner of where they're going to mirror each other. Even if you don't do that, there's ways to fix it, but that's one of the ways to prevent problems from the start. So I've got a Death Titan here and a Tarn Lindnorm. Tarn Lindnorm is from Bestiary 1. The Death Titan or Thanato Titan is from Bestiary 2. Both of them are a little bit messed up. The illustrations themselves are just a little bit messed up, but it's not it's not terrible. I can live with it. They'll still be pretty cool. They'll have some really great color. So, because I want to get the biggest ones out of the way, I'm actually just kind of looking these over just to see where they're going to lay out pretty well. I might even use the smaller cardboard pieces for some of these. So with this one, it's a big square image that I basically fit to the entire page, 8.5 by 11 page. And I'm actually going to be cutting some portions of this out, but I am going to leave a lot of the background illustration in there. And because that one is going to be a little more complex like that, I'm probably just going to cut out an entire slat devoted just to that square, and then cut around later when I know exactly what shape I want it to be. For the time being, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have more than enough really, really large ones that I'm going to draw this one down now. So what I'm doing is I'm just on one side of the cardboard, the brown side. So I'll refer to this cardboard as the brown side and the white side. The white side is the outside that has some enamel, some surface binder. It's a white surface, and it binds the outside. And I say binding because when you're working with this stuff, it's going to be like that. It's going to be like the outside is already bound, and so as you watch it, as you moisturize the cardboard, and then as you watch it dry, you're going to see that binding on the outside have an effect. In any case, I only need one of these. I'm just making it hard on myself, just because I'm talking. And then I'm going to, with this one in particular, so when they become minis, they're going to fit into, I'm really sorry about the zoom. I thought it was going to be better zoom on that other camera. When they fit into the bases, I'm actually going to use part of this, which has the tail. Well, maybe not. It does look really good, especially if you got a colored base. It might actually look really nice. Okay, how about this? I'm going to abandon that, and I'm going to make sure to add a section down here at the bottom to make a base for it. And then that is for that one. I'm pretty sure I can't fit either of those other two on these edges. Unless I really want that line there. Actually, that might be a good idea. Put that right there. And so I'm actually with music. I love music a lot, and so it's really important to me when I have the music playing of what it is that we're actually playing. And so I'm playing the fixed playlist. Hopefully, not everything doesn't just get completely cut because of copyright things, but I'm pretty sure this is one of those ones that is you can have playing and it's not going to immediately silence you. Be silent. So that's about right. All of that. This is one of the ones that was messed up, so I'm just comparing it by looking at the shadow of the backside. In any case, this is definitely the one that I need to use. So I just think that I've got a little extra space. So I always give myself about a 1/4 inch all the way around the outside of the edge of the paper, along with whatever space I think I'm going to need for the bottom base. Hopefully I didn't just totally screw myself right there, but I'm pretty sure I did. It looks good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're good. Everything's good. Everything's fine. We like it. And with these lines, I'm just going to paint over them later, so it's not worth worrying about like how dark are they or whatever. You can do it in pencil if you're really worried about that, but I'll just paint all over them, so you won't see them. A lot of them will get cut off. And so because I'm doing this right now, and because I know that with these really big ones, I only want one surface. Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, I might need to make. Actually, maybe if I just use one of the other thin pieces of cardboard, that could work too. All right, no worries. I was worried about something for a minute. No worries. And so I'm just using scissors to cut the general shapes out so that I have them all as separate pieces of cardboard. Also, I just felt that on the back side of this, there's it's okay. I can take this off and get that ready to go. I'm cutting outside of the line, so I don't have to worry about taking off too much over. And then because it's got this tag, something, the thing from the other piece of shipping cardboard. Luckily, that won't make a huge difference. Like I said, it's all going to get covered in paint, and then there's going to be a picture on top of most of it. Wow, I really wish I could make that less blurry. I cannot. Oh, maybe I can. Oh, I can. I could have made it better that whole time. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. Oh, now we're working with real vision. Look at that. Boop-a-da-boop. Sweet. Okay. So yeah. So I just pulled a bit off of there. You've got a little bit of the outer texture, the outer surface binding, the binder. It's still there and it's missing on some parts, but it's really not that big of a deal. Especially when we start smashing at this part, like pressing things against one another, sealing them in, letting them dry, and all the rest of it. Trust me, a lot of this is going to work itself out. The other thing is that, as it is, this needs a little more. I'll cover this in a couple of layers of acrylic and fit it back in here to see if it still works. But I might actually have to put another small bit of cardboard onto this in order to make it thick enough to fit in the base. Because right now, it's not just loose. It looks like there's enough in there to fit a whole nother slice of cardboard on it. So, in any case, it'll be like that. And so you just cut out enough cardboard to have enough to put your miniature on. And then we'll come back to all of it. Make sure you have both sides. I'm pretty sure this other side will fit on here just fine. Yeah, good to go. So, that's how that works. Put these together like that. Put this off to the side, because I know exactly what that one's going to be doing. And so, oh yeah, that's way better. Ah, you see, those are real hands, not fuzzy, blurry hands. Wow, I should have done that the first time. Whatever. I'm also going to cut this one out because it'll make it a lot easier to just have everything separated. Plus, the more that you have them already set as individualized pieces, the easier it will be to fix them if things get a little bit funky. Funky. That's a technical term for it. Anybody shows up, if you jump into the chat, just say hello. If you don't like Cell Dweller and Fixed, let me know. I don't know why you wouldn't. Let me know. This is my sort of fun time. So I'm going to keep the other bits of cardboard around. For the simple fact that I might still fit some of the thinner critters on those panels. So I'm going to be doing a terrace. I'm doing it not the version that's in Pathfinder Bestiary 1, but the one that's in Inner Sea World Guide, which is the Spawn of Robogug version. Things get lost often on the workspace. When you're figuring out how big to make the slot at the bottom to fit in the base, give yourself more than what you need. Just like putting a little extra outside of the illustration, a little extra space, so that if you do need to make some last minute adjustments, you have a little extra. Like that. Yeah. Now we're all good to go. So like that. A little bit out, just outside of it. Paper. This is an Annihilator robot. This is actually way bigger than the first ones that I made, because I decided that, like the Pathfinder pawns themselves, that sometimes when you make them so that the very bottom base is exactly the width of the mini, they actually end up looking really small. So, especially with something like this, where it's really close to the ground, that the majority of the bulk of the creature is actually kind of flat. You actually want it to be larger than the base, so that it extends outward just a little bit already on its own. Just See, and the only reason I don't do this, the only reason I don't do this is because I don't actually have enough space without doing it on this edge, and I don't want to do it like that. So, I'm pretty sure I can fit something up here like that. So let's move this off to the side. Or, oh no, I can do it right there. There. Just gotta remove that. So, when you're not sure, remove the cardboard and the extra surfaces first to make sure that you're actually going to have enough left over. And if anybody's just lurking, say hello. So like with this. This, we'll pull this off first, so that if it does tear the cardboard, I'll know start. Whoa, shaky, it's an earthquake. Hope you guys don't get seasick. Oh boy, see this is not what I had in mind. It won't be terrible, but it won't be pretty either. There we go. That's what I wanted. There we go. And so a little bit of that glue. Over to get some tagging, see if I can get it out there. Okay, that's how it's gonna do. Okay. And then, because, oh yeah, that's why. I'm like, what? And then because I want my bottom edge flat, I use that seam like that. So, okay, so I'm gonna be cutting it kind of close on some of these edges, but it's not a big deal because I've given myself enough room that you're not going to see very much of the rest of the cardboard, but should be fine enough. Should be just decent enough. Oh. Sneaky, sneaky. So I could try to peel up some of this adhesive. It is pretty tacky. Yeah, you can hear that. So I could try and pull that up, but I'm not going to. Just kind of lick it a little bit. Hey, leave it alone. And then I think I can fit one more creature on here because I've got this neophyllid that looks just about the right size. A neophyllid, you say? What the hell is that? Well, if you play Pathfinder, you know what that is. If you don't play Pathfinder, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's your problem. Just okay, so this one's just big enough that it makes me feel like we don't actually have enough space for it on this panel. On any of these panels. because I'd have to cram it in. Well, never mind. Take that back. It'll fit right here. Turn the other way, it wouldn't work. Turn that way, it works. So you still can't see the outline, but I'm giving myself just a not quite a quarter inch or all around the outside of the paper, and that means that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 critters, all from that one panel, or from that one piece of cardboard. And then, so I'm going to set these ones off to the back and cut this apart so that all of these individual sections and individual panels, because that's how I think of them, have their own individuals. So I've gotten I've gotten all of the smallest creatures done so that I don't have to keep around the small pieces. But I'll probably keep them just in case. You might notice I constantly have contingencies. Because you just never know when something's going to mess up. Everything looks like it's working smooth, and then... Ooh. So these tiny little slivers, I don't keep those. I toss those. I recycle them, because we have recycling here. So now that this really super tacky adhesive isn't really super tacky anymore, I can kind of rub at it. It will do one of two things. It will either bead up and come off, or, as it has done here, it will take some of the goop off of my fingers and turn it into a surface that doesn't make it quite as tacky. Sort of. Sort of. So... yeah, I'm just going to rub it off. It's sort of halfway in between super tack and liquid ink. Those are also technical terms. So hopefully okay. Hopefully that should take care of the nasty things. So all of the rest of these are too big for these smaller panels. Yeah, so the best bet with this is just to give it its own panel. all together. And using that bottom edge because it's flat as the guiding edge. The other thing that I can do with these extra panels like this that are like they're wide enough to actually still do something with them is use them for cardboard to make the gargantuan sized base attachments. So they're sort of like because the huge size bases are 3 inches wide, so they just extend them by just a tiny bit to make a 4-inch wide base, and that is approximately how large these edge panels are. Yeah. These ones are almost 5 inches. So I take a 4.5-inch section from that. I do 4.5 to make sure I've got a little bit extra on every side. I do 4.25. It's not really necessary to be that wide. Actually, it might be 4.25 with 1/8 of an inch on each side. So. Big wig. Okay. Maybe that one more. or mini. It's just I don't think it's gonna fit on any of these except maybe that one, but I don't want to put it on the edge like that. Because if I were to put it on this one, I'd have that fold right there, and that the crease is really wide. And yeah, it's in a kind of a bad spot. So and I've actually got two more. So that's perfect for this last one over here. Is I can do two of these. They should fit. these are some really decent panels that I'm leaving over after all of this. So I'm gonna keep them around. I will. I might make them into more gargantuan-sized bases because they look really decent. They're in really good condition. Because that makes all of my creatures. So I can use this last big piece to make a gargantuan-sized base. And these other ones I can use to make... I'm sorry, this one I'll use to make a colossal-sized base. And these ones I'll make gargantuan-sized bases from them. And so that's just a simple matter of measuring out just a little over 4 inches, so about 4 1/4 or even 4 1/8. Well, let me think. No, 4 1/2, 4 1/4 to 4 1/2 inches per side, and then that way you've got enough on every edge for your 4-inch base to have a little extra left over, just to make sure you've got it. And then you can cut it off at that, or when you've got all your stuff together and then you're coating things in paint, you'll see if you have enough or if things need to be straightened up. Like I'm one to talk about that. And so these are really kind of perfect for that. And the goal of this was to make 2 colossal-sized bases, if possible. Maybe 3, if I could. And then 6 to 8 gargantuan-sized. And I think I can do that. So what I'll probably do... Let's see how wide these panels are. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so these are over 12 inches. Which means I could technically make 2 colossal-sized bases. Could be kind of close for you, but the thing to do is to make sure that it's actually decent enough to do that. Alright.
You guys are insane. Switch back.
That's two separate colossal sized bases because the other section, so the flip side of it, I'm going to make sure to use the thinner cardboard. Yeah, same with the gargantuan sized bases. I'll use this thick cardboard for one. one side of it, and then for the other side I'll use the thinner cardboard. It just keeps the weight down overall. And with the bases, it's actually better to have the weight in the bases as opposed to the minis themselves, so that they're not top heavy. That's really not a big deal. Not a huge concern. So, okay, so. Actually, we're going to have more than enough for a whole bunch of. Gargantuan bases. Excellent. Oh. Oh, yeah. Gosh, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 right there. And I say 8 because I could split that into 3, but it would not be all that great. So we're not going to do that. Technically, I've got enough for even more than that over here, but I will save some of this for later to use for more material, but only if I have enough space to do so. Oh no! My set, it's falling apart. Okay, so, alright, so I've got more than enough cardboard to do other things at some other point, but I also have enough to do 8 gargantuan-sized bases and 2 colossal-sized bases. I can probably get away with doing another one just out of the thinner cardboard. But for right now, I'm going to do 2 and 8. I think that'll work. And so, now I'm going to measure out that on these ones. Set this away. Take a drink of coffee. More Java. If you're lurking, say hello. Let me know what you're drinking. Lovely. So, the other things I didn't mention is it's really good to have a huge size Pathfinder Pawn base on hand for measuring and for testing when you finally get your minis finished to test them. When we get into the coloring phase of things, I prefer acrylic paints. Like I said earlier, when you're doing a base coat of paint, it's good to do something that's usually used as a primer. You can even go pick up primer paint from the hardware store. or gesso, which is used to make a canvas nice and paint worthy. But like I said, this time I'm just going to do it with just straight acrylic paint as the base, and it should be perfectly fine. I've done this several times, and I'm pretty sure it'll work just fine. So brushes or sponges or however you want to apply the color. I prefer brushes especially for the broad strokes at the beginning. And then a color palette. So I just picked up a bunch of things from Michael's. I used a gift card. So I picked up some brushes and a color palette for mixing colors and water. I picked up some small acrylic things and some larger bits of white, and it's not a mid-tone gray. It definitely looks more like a darker gray. To use some of those for bases and for mixing with other colors. And then also, I don't know if I pointed this out before, but it's usually, especially in the painting phase, it's good to have some extra newspaper or old magazines that you can tear up and lay down on the surface. The cardboard is necessary, or some kind of cutting surface, so that when you start using the X-Acto knife, that you can do so without chopping everything up underneath it, because it will cut below. It will, when it cuts through these bits of cardboard, even when they're painted, it's going to cut the surface below. So like with this shelf section, I don't want to mess that up, so I'll put the cardboard on top of it. It's just that it's really helpful for when you're drawing down lines to have a flat surface to work on. And then it's good to have some paper towel on hand, and water to both dilute, so you have some clean water to dilute the paints, and then also some dirty water for washing up your brushes. And then at the very end, we're going to use a matte finish decoupage to cover over the whole thing and seal it all in. We're going to do several coats of this stuff on the outside, and so that's what's going to seal it all off. It's going to make it really solid and sturdy, and that'll be the very, very last phase. Aside from packing them up, if I package them up in some fashion. Because that's the other thing, is if I, tonight we're just starting this, but if I do get some more support, especially in the form of any follows or subscribers or possibly financial support, that would be great. I'll put a link up for my GoFundMe thing in the file that I put together for this. So don't look for it right now, just look for it at some point. I'm trying not to freak out, right? I'm trying to just keep everything cool, keep moving forward, do what I need to do. But that becomes difficult when you say do what I need to do, because what I think I need to do could be very different from what other people think I need to do. And that can be problematic for everyone. What is he talking about? Just whatever comes to mind. If it's relevant, if it's not, it really doesn't matter. He's mostly crazy anyways. Oops. That's another reason for having a newspaper. I'm driving the window. It's okay. Say hello if you're live. Unless, of course, you just want to be antisocial. Which I guess is also acceptable because that's kind of how this works. And that's the whole reason we're live streaming. That's not true. So, I'm trying to figure out which one of these is the straightest edge. I think one is straight, so let's go. So, we have a small problem here. I'm just not willing to deal with it right now. Just rather draw. Yeah. We're just gonna draw another one. It's a waste! So I could get 3 out of these if I cut right straight down, but that wouldn't leave me enough room on the free edge, so. I guess that's a 3. I'm a little bit concerned that this one's just a little too messed up. Because it's kind of wrinkled there. So, but I think I could. I think I'll get it out there. And since we're trying to be smart about this, so I'm just using some old newspaper as a safe surface. Aww. Rogren is auto-hosting me. That's nice. Thanks, Rogren. 3W. If anybody is watching and lurking, say hello. So, I've already finished up the introductory portion of this. A little fun time. But right now, I'm cutting apart some cardboard to make some miniatures and bases for miniatures. For Pathfinder the role-playing game. Pathfinder the role-playing game. So now I'm drinking coffee. Because that's what happens. And I don't have any anything written up right now to be able to share. But I will soon have a written PDF thing ready to go. But for right now, I'm just actually doing the thing that I will write about and post up. It looks like we have a pretty terrible signal. Over a quarter of the frames have dropped, which is a little sad, but that's okay. It's alright. I'll post the video of this in its entirety later on YouTube. sorry if I'm making you all seasick. I'm just trying to get this done. Okay. Okay. And this is going to be the last cardboard piece I'm going to do for right now. Believe it or not, I actually made great time doing what I did tonight. I didn't actually expect to get that far that fast, which is kind of nice. I feel productive. And so So we have little straggler bits and pieces that you can pull off and just mess at them a little bit. And that's it. And so basically all I did was cut outside of those lines. Okay, so that's just giving me an approximation of a 4x4 square. Colossal sized bases are 6x6. And I marked the half inch marks along the outside edge in order to do the grid on it. Because what I do is I actually paint the landscape of what it is I'm going to put, like ground or stone or whatever it is, and then I paint a grid on top of it so that you can actually move the minis on it as though it's part of the map. So I've got two colossal and looks like 8 gargantuan. And so in order to make the second layer of those, I'll use the other pieces of cardboard. I'm going to do that at a different time. When I get into that, I'll get into the part where we put the plastic in between and everything like that. So, so let me think if there's anything else that I want to do this session. Half the fun is making a mess and then cleaning it up afterwards. So let me think. We went over the supplies that you're gonna need. We went over the size of the minis that I'm gonna create. And it's gonna include the bases and the minis. So when I say the minis, I'm actually talking about these things. Okay, so it's like and the image is a printed illustration. It's printed in mirror on 2 separate pages. And then when it gets done, it will have a mini on both sides of the cardboard. So you need a piece of cardboard about that size, which means you need to print off the pictures, cut out as close an approximation of the outline as you can make that you're comfortable with as the general shape of the miniature. Cut out both pieces, line it up to the cardboard, make an outline. Okay, so make an outline that from the image, from the illustration that you print off, and then cut it out. And you're actually going to cover this in either a primer, so like a paint primer, or gesso, or in my case, I'm just going to put a whole bunch of layers of acrylic paint onto it. And it should be just fine, because by the time I get done with all the extra layers of stuff, it's pretty thick. It's pretty darn thick. It's pretty much all plastic with a little bit of little thin layers of paper and cardboard in the middle. So I think that's it. I think I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. And I have to admit that I made damn good time doing it. Wow. I did. I made a damn good time tonight. So I might just take a short break and come back and work on the document that I have going, that I was going to put together and put a link up for it. The document will include the links to all my pages, the Twitch, the YouTube, and my GoFundMe page. And so if you feel like donating, send it to the GoFundMe. Here, give me a second. I'll grab it. I'll grab it. Let me find it. Okay, so there's the link for the GoFundMe campaign. I have to use the restroom really soon. There's the link for that, and I think I'm just gonna take a short break. I'm gonna leave the music playing, and I think I'm just gonna go use the restroom and then come back. So I'll see you shortly. Alright, everybody. So, what else do I want to say? What else do I want to do? So that's the actual GoFundMe link. The other one is a bit.ly link that I like to use just so that I can actually see how many people will click on it. And I was thinking about actually streaming the process of creating that document, but there's other things I wanted to do, but I don't know. Oh, so at some point I want to get back to streaming the very last bits of the map creation stuff that I was doing. I don't have that set up for right now, and I don't know what it is. I wish somebody was here. Don't talk to me. Can't say hello. So boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And we have everything that we need. The only thing I have left to do is the backsides for those bases. I feel like that's a good place to wrap it up for tonight. Because the next time we get into this, it's going to be we're getting into it. This was the preparatory side of things. And so I'll put together a PDF. So the PDF is just going to include the illustrations laid out, mirrored, so that you can print them off and use them to make minis like these. Along with the page that just says what you'll need, the minis that I'm making with it, and some links to the GoFundMe page and to the channel. Obviously, because these images are not mine, I cannot approve the use of them for sale or profit. I probably won't put that in the PDF because it's kind of obvious that if you're doing this just to do it for you, not to make money off of it. Because I'm not making money off of this, so you shouldn't either. Just kidding, I don't know. So if you do want to send money, definitely make sure to send some funds to my GoFundMe page so that I can finish moving the rest of my stuff out here. And the goal is to have my own place. That's not happening right now, but that's the goal. If you send some money, it could help. I feel like there was something else I was going to type into the thing to make sure that everybody had it, but I don't know what it was. This is yawning because it's late. Yeah, right. I'm probably still getting it for a while. So the other thing I was thinking about doing tonight was playing the Master Nier, and maybe finishing that document in InDesign because I'm using Adobe InDesign to make the document. That's what I use to lay the images out too, because then I can lay them out on a grid, a 1-inch grid, and I can actually see the grid. And so that's why I did that. I think that's it. I think I've pretty much covered all the introductory stuff, which is pretty awesome because I made great time tonight. And so I'm going to put together the rest of that document and put it up and post a link on my Twitter to make sure that it's up there. And yeah, I don't know. I might keep streaming a little bit later here and maybe do some Astroneer. I probably won't work on the alien planet map tonight, just because I'm just not right. I'm not there. I'm not there. I want to do hands-on things today. My mind's been in a funny spot, so it's really good to be able to do something like this so that I can actually be doing something. I think that's all I wanted to share. I wish there was someone here to say something to me so you could be like, hey, wow, that was great, or wow, you suck, or what are you doing after this? Which I'll probably say, well, I'm not sure, but I think I might go stream some more and do some Astroneer or something. But I don't know. I don't know. I am largely an indecisive individual, and I require people's help. Also, the next time I do this, I'll have it set up so that I can show some photographs of the last batch of these miniatures that I made. That I took photographs of the whole process and sent those ones into Paizo. Kind of a flashy gift, so to speak. Wow, I made great time. I seriously thought it would be like an hour or two from now before I finally got done. This is great. I can get rid of all the little tiny scraps of cardboard. I'll keep the other stuff on hand for something smaller. And so I have another set of all of these artworks. So if I get some real interest, like over here on this chat over here, if I get real interest, I won't keep doing this. But if I get real interest, I could do more than just this. So, give me a follow. Subscribe on YouTube is what it's called. If you want to subscribe on Twitch, great. You don't need to do that. It's not necessary. And if you want to send some funds, the GoFundMe link is right there in the chat and up on my screen. Zoom in right there. Zoom in right there. And that's where the link is. I'll also have that link in the PDF document that I put together. PDF is going to have all the illustrations, so all of the pictures that I got. Many of them are from Pathfinder, Paizo Pathfinder products. Paizo Pathfinder products. Oh, I need to be saying that so much more often. And so some of these are from Paizo. Most of them are. But there's a couple in there that are different. They're from other illustrators. The images that I got from the web. In any case, when I do put it out there, this is my disclaimer. It's not for you to use for profit because I'm not using them for profit. This is just to make some minis and have them around. And if I can get some community involvement, we can do contests and I can mail some out to people. It could be good. But for right now, it's just me making shit. And let me know if you enjoyed the playlist or not. I know I did, because I like this kind of music. so a lot. Thanks for joining me tonight if you ever did. Or if you're watching this on demand, it's cool. It's fine, it doesn't bother me. As long as I put it out there and as long as it might be able to benefit somebody, that's the only thing that matters to me. So, yeah, and there we are. Those are the, wow, so bright. Those are the chopped up bits of cardboard and the illustrations that are going to be plastered onto them. And here are the one sides of the bases. I say one side because the bases have to be two sections of cardboard glued together, because you have to put the plastic in between there to keep it from tearing at the edges. It's especially important with the gargantuan sized ones, because the edge that is an extension around the huge size base is so thin that if it's just cardboard and acrylic paint, it will tear at some point with enough messing with it, which is what happens at the game table. And so with the pieces of plastic in the middle, it helps give it some. No, it doesn't give it. I don't know if that's all I wanted to tell you. I feel like there was more, but I can't remember. I think that's it. I think that's good. I mean, that's as much as I wanted to get done tonight. Was to get those all cut out. Yeah. And I don't have the list of stuff for you guys just yet, but I will very shortly here, because I'll finish it up. And then, I don't know, I guess I could work on that for a minute while I'm still streaming, but it's not quite the same. Working on a document in InDesign is not quite the same as working on minis on the craft table. But yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, that's it for right now. I don't think there's anything more that I dare do without moving forward. I do everything in stages that, like, they might seem really strange. But they make a lot of sense to me. I'm the one doing this project. You're just watching. You might be following. That would be kind of cool if somebody followed along and did their own version. I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing it this way, is so if you do want to make your own using my document, you can do that. It's probably not smart for me to put the images together in a PDF and not have the disclaimer somewhere, but I don't know, whatever. So yeah, so that's how we do this, and I'm just stacking them together because, as you can see, I'm a little bit OCD about organizing stuff. But this is the stacked stuff. These things will become miniatures. That's really what happens. When I start cutting them apart and doing all the bits and pieces to make them really sturdy, I'll be using this plastic. It's just flat plastic. The red stuff is from in the gold is from a coffee mix canister that I like, and so You chop those up and you put the plastic in between the 2 layers of cardboard and seal it all in with acrylic and some glue and stuff. And it makes it really sturdy. And it's I wouldn't say it's impossible to tear it, but it would be incredibly difficult. And so now I'm hiccuping, and whee! So that's it for now, I think. That's all I had planned for stage 1. Stage 1 is relatively short. So as you saw, those ones there are another set that are separate from these. So if we want to do this all again, and provided we get some actual interest and if we can get some funds donated, seriously, even just like, I don't know, I don't want to put a number on it, but I have to get almost $1,900 in order to make it happen. And, well, let's just say that I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. That's why I made the GoFundMe page. And so that's it for right now. I'm going to put together the list of stuff that you need to do this. It's all going to be one document, one PDF document of the list of stuff that you need, and the minis that are going to be made from it, and the illustrations that I use. These pretty ones. Yeah. So when I get that all done, I'll post that up, and I'll put the link on Twitter, and it will include all the links to all the stuff in it. And I guess that's it. I guess that is it. I've only said that about 13 times now, but that's how we do. That's how we do. We crazy. We crazy. All right. Have a wonderful evening. I may see you again here shortly. I don't know. See, I wish there was somebody here to be like, yeah, get back on and stream. I want to watch you play Astroneer or make stuff in Adobe Illustrator. Well, that's how it works.